What would you do if the person sleeping beside you had another life locked behind a screen you never knew existed? It was 2:17 a.m. in our bedroom in Chicago, and the only light came from a faint glow slipping through the crack of the bathroom door. The shower wasn't running. The sink wasn't on. But her voice, low, soft, unfamiliar, whispered through the silence like it didn't belong to my wife anymore. I remember standing there, barefoot on cold hardwood, staring at that sliver of light, realizing something was very, very wrong. And when the door handle turned, I had just enough time to pretend I'd been asleep. Because in that moment, I understood one thing I wasn't supposed to know. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. I didn't confront her that night. I didn't even ask questions. I just lay there, heart pounding, listening to her slide back into bed like nothing had happened. Her skin was warm, familiar, but something about her presence felt distant, like she had already left me, and I was the last one to realize it. The next morning, she acted normal. Too normal. Coffee brewed at exactly 6:30. Toast slightly burnt the way I liked. A quick kiss on my cheek before heading out to work near Michigan Avenue. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. That was the first crack. Then came the phone. She bought it on a Thursday. I remember because we were supposed to go to dinner at a small place on West Randolph Street, but she canceled last minute. Said she was tired. I found the receipt 2 days later in her coat pocket. Brand new, latest model, paid in cash. She never told me. And that's when the pattern began. She started guarding her purse like it held state secrets. Took calls outside. Smiled at texts she never shared. Her old phone stayed on the kitchen counter, untouched, while the new one disappeared into her shadow. I wasn't stupid. Just late. The humiliation didn't hit all at once. It crept in slowly, like mold behind walls. At a barbecue with friends, she laughed too hard at a joke some guy made. Her hand brushed his arm just a little too long. I watched it happen from across the yard, beer in hand, feeling invisible in my own marriage. Later that night, I asked her about it. "You're being paranoid," she said, coldly, without even looking up from her phone. "Not everything is about you." That was new. The dismissiveness, the edge in her voice. And then she stopped touching me. Weeks passed. I became a ghost in my own home. She came and went like a tenant, not a wife. Late nights, early mornings, excuses that didn't quite add up. Until one night, they didn't add up at all. She said she had a team meeting downtown, near Wacker Drive. I followed her. I hated myself for it. Sitting in my car, engine off, watching her walk into the lobby of the Hyatt Regency Chicago. She didn't look nervous. Didn't hesitate. Just walked in like she belonged there. Like she'd done it before. I waited. 30 minutes. An hour. Then I saw him. Tall. Confident. Smug in a way that made my stomach twist. He walked up behind her near the elevators, placed a hand on her lower back like it had always belonged there. And she didn't pull away. I didn't go inside. I didn't need to. That moment told me everything. That was the night something inside me broke. But breaking has stages. First comes denial. Then anger. Then something darker. Clarity. I stopped confronting her. Stopped asking questions. I became quiet. Observant. Invisible. And I started collecting. It began with the old phone. She had forgotten to wipe it completely. Messages were gone, but not everything. Fragments remained. Contact names without numbers. Timestamps. Deleted threads that still whispered secrets. Then I hired someone. A private investigator based out of Evanston. Quiet, professional, efficient. Within 2 weeks, I had everything. Photos, videos, hotel records, receipts, dates. Not just one man. 3. Different nights. Different locations. Same pattern. She didn't just cheat. She lived a second life. And in that life, I didn't exist. The humiliation turned into something colder. Sharper. I stopped seeing her as my wife. She became a problem. And problems have solutions. I met with a lawyer near LaSalle Street. One of the best. I laid everything out on the table. Every photo, every receipt, every betrayal. He leaned back in his chair, adjusted his glasses, and said, "If you want to destroy her, legally, you can." I didn't hesitate. We built the case slowly. Strategically. Quietly. Financial records. Hidden accounts. Evidence of marital funds used for hotel rooms, gifts, dinners. Then came the social layer. I reached out to one of the other men's wives. That conversation, I'll never forget it. Silence on the other end. Then a quiet. I knew something was wrong. The dominoes were ready. All I needed was the moment. It came at a dinner party she insisted on hosting. Friends, co-workers, neighbors, all gathered in our home. Laughter filled the air. Wine flowed. She played the perfect hostess. I watched her move through the room like nothing had ever happened, like I had never mattered. And then I stood up, tapped my glass. "Hey," I said, smiling. "I just want to share something real quick." The room quieted. I connected my phone to the TV and pressed play. The first image filled the screen. Her, in the hotel lobby, with him. Gasps. Confusion. Silence. Then the next. And the next. Her face drained of color. "What are you doing?" she whispered, stepping toward me. I didn't stop. "Everyone deserves to know who you really are," I said, my voice calm. "Steady." One of the other wives stood up slowly, staring at the screen, then at my wife. "You," she said, voice shaking. The room erupted. Voices. Accusations. Shock. And in the center of it all, she stood frozen, exposed, stripped of every lie she had ever told. But I wasn't done. The next morning, she was served. Divorce papers. Financial claims. Evidence attached. Her job didn't last the week. Word spreads fast in places like that. The men? Cowards. They disappeared the moment things got real. She tried to call me. Beg. Apologize. I never answered. Months passed. The house was sold. Assets divided, heavily in my favor. She moved out of state. Last I heard, she was staying with a friend, trying to rebuild something that didn't exist anymore. And me? I stayed. Same house. Same city. Same quiet mornings. But everything felt different. Cleaner. Like a storm had passed, leaving nothing but stillness behind. Sometimes, late at night, I think about that moment. The bathroom door, the glow of that hidden phone. How close I came to never knowing. How easily I could have lived a lie. But I didn't. Because the truth has a way of finding its way out. And when it does, it doesn't just break things. It erases them. I still keep that old phone in a drawer. Dead battery. Cracked screen. A reminder that the person I trusted most in this world never really existed at all. The end.